Welcome to Certified Fresh, the interview series with artists and producers featured in the mixes of the aesthetic deity, the bus driver himself, the lean sommelier, your plug's favorite DJ, Ryan Celsius. I'm your host, JV. Head over to YouTube and tune in to Blaze Bus Radio, the Ryan Celsius live stream playing 24/7 lo-fi, experimental trap, funk, vaporwave, and other groovy tunes set to psychedelic visuals. On IG, he's at Ryan.Celsius. On SoundCloud, he's just Ryan Celsius. Follow Certified Fresh on IG at rc.certifiedphresh. That's fresh with a PH. Today's guest is Feeney. Feeney thinks funk is the sound of Detroit, and as a lifelong resident of Michigan, he has great affection for Motor City. He's part of Graveyard Gang and Gutta Boys, two music collectives that sprang from friendship. Listen as we talk about what it's like to work with SoundCloud heavyweight Acid Brain, how some people have hurt Feeney's feelings when it comes to making funk music, and his favorite episode of SpongeBob. Let's get started. How's it been?
It's good. I just finished up my semester of school, so I'm just chilling right now.
Oh shit, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
What are you doing? Yeah, no problem. What are you studying in school?
I'm studying philosophy right now.
Oh, nice. So what's the most recent thing in school that you studied that blew your mind?
Nothing that I already haven't gone over before. I took a life and death class, and we talked a little bit about just the afterlife and things like that, if there is the afterlife. It's interesting. I don't know if other people find it interesting. But
what made you choose philosophy?
I've always liked the idea of being able to, argue and just come up with different theories as to why things are the way they are. I guess just to get down to the nitty-gritty of things, understand how things work, why they work, what the purpose for them is.
Now, in your course load for philosophy, did you ever have to take a class on logic and syllogisms?
Yeah, I just took in my second logic class.
When I had that philosophy class, I kind of felt the same way. I wanted to, check it out and see what it was about. And then when I got to the syllogisms, I was just either I'm not good at arguing or this stuff is difficult to wrap your head around.
No, it's extremely difficult. This last logic class probably kicked my ass. I understand it, but at the same time, it takes a lot of practice. So I don't blame anyone if they don't understand what's going on or it's hard for them to wrap their head around it. I feel the exact same way. And I'm a philosophy major, so, don't ever feel discouraged by it.
Do you ever feel like you get overloaded with information in class and then one day you're having a debate with someone and you're like, oh shit, I'm using what I learned?
That or sometimes it's the exact opposite. Someone else will be using what I learned on me and I really won't know how to respond to that. It's kind of hard to I have to take an opposite stance on it. Sometimes you can catch yourself in a corner, or sometimes there's just too much information at once. You get a headache.
What would you say, as somebody who studies it and is pretty educated in it, what would you say is the number one mistake people make when they're debating or arguing with someone?
They tend to get emotional. I think it's hard for people to do that. You have to kind of train yourself not to get emotional when you're arguing with someone. I guess that's considered a meme nowadays, but to me, you have to not be so emotional towards people. You have to be willing to talk about things that are touchy. Not a lot of people do that.
Well, before we were talking, you're telling me that you live in Detroit. What's it like out there?
I don't know if you could consider this Detroit. I guess I go to school in Detroit, but I live about 20 to 30 minutes away from Detroit. It's not anything crazy. A lot of people think it's bad out here, that it's a shithole, but I love it. I don't know. I had always called this place home, but I will tell you that it's a very dark and depressing area. I guess that it's that type of tone to it. It helps when it comes to making music. It adds that feeling to it. I always try to go for that darkish tone. I get that. That's how I always describe Detroit to people. Is that it's cold, it's dark, it's not so happy.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to bring up. As a city, Detroit is an historic city in the U.S., Motor City. Like, so much stuff has come out of there over the years. And now I think people's perception of it, I mean, when you talk about Detroit or even Michigan, people automatically think of Flint. And then Detroit itself, as I said, people just see it as like a dying city with people, black, white, doesn't really matter. People are just leaving, and the ones that stay are just kind of fending for themselves. So for you, and you kind of touched on it yourself, as a funk producer, does making that kind of music reflect the tone and the atmosphere people living in Detroit may feel about the city?
Definitely, for sure. I 100%, I feel that. I think that's what attracted me so much to the music, was that it was relatable, the sound of it. I mean, not to sound corny or anything, but that's just how I've always felt. I don't think any other sound really that I enjoy making can relate to this city or this area. Obviously, I don't live in Memphis or anything like that. To me, I personally feel like it fits this area.
So funk is the sound of Detroit?
I'm not really sure. I don't know if I would pinpoint that, because I know Detroit has a lot of other different sounds. But to me personally, I'd probably say so.
When you first got started making music, a lot of the producers that I talked to, they never start with funk. How did you get started making music?
Yeah, I think it was just about the same. I ended up finding my way there. I used to play saxophone in middle school, and then I was always big into music, and I tried to find like a way to make music. And then it ended up being, I started out producing probably like 2012, and for about a year, I basically made like boom bap beats. I tried making dubstep, just old school type hip hop, because that's what I was really into at the time. I guess I was kind of ignorant to like the music scene, like Space Ghost Fur, Raider Clan, Lil Ugly Mane. I didn't know about those guys until probably a year and a half later. And I think that's what attracted me to funk. So I didn't start out mainly going for funk. I was just like, it's something that I found along the way, and I was like, I really like this sound. I kind of fell in love with it from there.
Do you think that your ignorance of those artists at the time helped or hurt you when you were making music?
I think it helped. I felt like I was in a box. Like I was very ignorant to rap music, hip hop, just the sounds of it in general, and it helped me kind of dive into a whole new world, that there was like other sounds out there. And I guess it was like, you can consider it like internet rap or like that type of sound. I fit in most with that because I've spent my entire life literally behind a computer just searching the internet, and I don't know, it gives me a feeling of nostalgia. So like, I guess it helped me a lot through my ignorance.
How did you learn or find out about Ryan Celsius?
Ryan hit me up, I believe, 2 years ago, and he hit me up to use one of my tracks. He wanted to throw Future's Mask Off. I don't even know if Future's Mask Off is that old, but around that time. But anyways, he wanted to throw it over my beat, and then I was like, yeah, sure, you can use my music. I didn't hear about him until Graveyard Gang became an official thing, because then he started fucking with Graveyard Gang and Acid Brain. And then Acid Brain, I chill with him pretty frequently, and we were chilling, and he was like, yeah, you ever heard of this Ryan Celsius dude? I was like, sounds familiar, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, you definitely have. He's uploaded your music before. So then he showed me him, and I was like, whoa, I did not know about this dude. Like, and then I go back into my messages on SoundCloud, and I was like, holy shit, that's him. I didn't even realize it. I guess I just was not paying attention.
I think that with a lot of creatives, you spend so much time with your head down working on your craft that when you come up for air, you see things that you didn't see before, or you might see things that were right in front of you the whole time, and especially with getting up with Ryan or having him use one of your tracks, you're just, in the moment, you're just like, oh yeah, cool, like somebody wants, somebody likes my shit enough to want to use it, all right, fine, cool, whatever, and then you'll come back 6 months later and you're just like, oh shit, this guy's Ryan Celsius, like he's fucking huge on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah, it took me back. It was crazy.
So I want to talk about Graveyard Gang in a moment, but before that, I want to talk about a recent project that you were on, Funk Fridays 18, or I think this is, I guess, Volume 1 of Gutta Boys with Acid Brain and EPVR. Is that how you pronounce his name? Is it like Epver or is it EPVR?
I always used to say EPR or EPVR. I mean, that's how I've always said it. His name's Benjamin. He goes by either, I guess. I've always had trouble trying to pronounce it. Like, I even asked him, and I don't even know if he could come up with like an answer for that.
It just changes based on how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I want to ask how Gutta Boys got started, but you said something earlier that I want to expand on. You said that you hang out with Acid Brain pretty frequently. Is this like in real life?
Yes, sir. Him and Epier. Gutta Boys, the start of it, I was not there for. I went to high school with all of them. I went to high school with all the Gutta Boys, most of them, because some of them are younger than I am. But they started it, I believe, as like a friend group just hanging out after school. And I mean, like, it consists of our friends Sharkman, Nick, Danny, shout out Nick. But Nick even produced, and they all just produced music together, or they played music together, or got together to drink. And then I would say maybe a year after high school, like, they started hanging out with me. We started making music. And then I guess I could say I'm incorporated into Gutta Boys. I'm on the project. But
yeah.
Like, that's always been their type of niche, like their crew. I'm friends with all of them.
Cool. And this is just me, kind of fanboying out for a moment. What's it like to hang out with Acid Brain? Because since I found out about Ryan Celsius and kind of digging more into this like funk, dark, experimental trap scene, it's like every time I turn around, I hear his tag or I just see his name. So who is this guy?
He's pretty low key, but he is always working on music. Like, he works harder than anyone I know. He is he's dedicated to the art. He loves it. He's not someone looking for like a quick form of attention. Like, a lot of people don't take the music serious. He's always been into it. That's his thing. He loves it. I mean, it's mine too, but I can see that he has like a fiery passion for it. It's crazy. He's always dope too to chill with. He's a down to earth dude. Cool.
Do you consider him kind of like a mentor?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Nice. Okay. So we talked about Gutta Boys. By the way, I really like that tape. It's awesome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. The next question that I want to ask is similar to Gutta Boys and just collaborations in general. For rappers, collaborations seem pretty straightforward. As rappers, the medium that they work in, they just contribute verses or they rhyme over each other's produced beats, because rappers can always make their own beats, or I can just cut all that shit out. Doesn't matter. For rappers, they just contribute verses to a collaboration. How does a collaboration work for a producer? Is it like one person works on the drums and then another finds a sample?
That can be the case. A lot of it's different. It goes case by case, because I've had it where I've collabed with people. They'll send me melodies and I will throw drums over it and then maybe add a melody, or I won't add a melody at all. I'll slow something down. I'll add a transition. I mean, it's like, it depends on what you're feeling at the time. It could also be something like in real life where you both do 50-50 of the work together. You both build off each other and see what you like. But a lot of collabs that I've done have been probably online. People just send me something and I'll throw something over it, or I'll send them something and they'll throw something over it. Sometimes you do more of the work, sometimes you do less of the work. It really just depends. Like, I've had collabs that I've done where I'm just like, wow, like, I could have put more into it, but I don't know what else to do. Sometimes people even send you finished projects. It's kind of just like, well, I don't even know what to do with this. That's like a single for you, man. I don't know what to do with that.
Okay. Has there ever been a collaboration where you're like, I cannot stand this person?
No. I mean, I try to work with everyone. I guess, are you saying like personally, or like just their, like if their music's bad, or?
Both.
I've never had a personal beef with anyone. I always try to be nice to people, like work with anyone, because you never know who's there. There could be someone extremely talented out there, and it's not just for the sake of working with them to like work with them. It's just making friends, I guess, and networking. But then there's like sometimes people's music, I can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're just on two different levels. You know what I'm saying? There could be someone who just started producing yesterday that sends me something. It's like, well, there's like way too much work to do. I don't know what you're going for. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what quote unquote vision you have for the track. So I can't do anything with this.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I was going to ask a follow-up. Oh, so I've been asking a lot of producers this question, and it's been the same answer across the board. When you're talking about an amateur producer or somebody that just started making beats, is mixing really the end-all and the be-all? Is that really the mark of an amateur versus somebody that knows what they're doing?
For a long time when I started producing, I thought that it was you add more and more and more drums and background noise and melodies and shit. But I have like learned throughout the years, yes, mixing and mastering is 100% what you need to focus on. The drums and everything will come, but I think that someone needs to train their ears. There's no doubt about it.
From the funk I've listened to, your samples seem to be more melodic or chord-based. First, would you say that's true? And then if so, what exactly do you look for in a sample?
I have noticed that a little bit, but I've never really dabbled into thinking about that too much. But as far as samples, I really just look for anything that I could sample. As of lately, before it was I was trying to look for something exactly in particular. When you go looking for something directly, you're not going to find it. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier. It'll be right there in front of you the whole time. You'll just be ignoring it. So as of lately, I kind of just gather everything that I enjoy, not just like what I'm looking for in particular. And then I'll try to build a song out of it. I guess I try to recycle just about anything that I can.
Okay, and building off of that, your producer tag, is that from Boy Meets World?
Yes, it is.
Okay. How much has television influenced your music over the years?
Television or just that television show?
Let's go for both.
I'd say television in general, a lot of old school cartoons and just like the shit I used to grow up with. That inspires me. I always try to go for like a nostalgic feel. I guess as far as a TV show, it's never really inspired my music. My last name's Feeney, so everyone kind of just calls me Mr. Feeney. I need a tag that like doesn't sound like everyone else's. And I was like, wow, there's a show with Mr. Feeney in it. Like, I can't believe I never really thought about that. Cut the tag, and now I use that.
When you talk about television and nostalgia, what's like a TV show or cartoon that sends you on a trip down memory lane?
Bro, SpongeBob is probably definitely the nostalgic show. I can quote that show every single day with a different situation in my life. Like, some shit will happen, and I'll just literally quote SpongeBob. That shit's so relatable to me.
What's your favorite episode?
Oh, damn. Probably that snowball fight.
Oh, is that the Christmas episode or is that a different one?
I think it's a different one. They build that giant ass fort and they just fight each other.
Yeah.
So good.
I remember that one. If I had to say what my favorite episode of SpongeBob is, I like the one. All right, no, I got it. My favorite one was when he's trying to get into the salty spittoon. And the bouncer keeps on kicking him out, so he keeps trying to come back. And then my favorite scene is when he like gets Patrick to pretend to beat himself up, and then Patrick just takes it too far.
Bro, I was about to say the same shit. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that shit was fucking hilarious, man. So let's backtrack a little bit. We were talking about Gutta Boys working with Acid Brain, and is it Epper? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's E-Peer, so like kind of like air. E-Peer.
E-Peer, okay. You're working with those guys. You're kind of got pulled into the fold of Gutta Boys. Who's Graveyard Gang?
So Graveyard Gang is Acid Brain, E-Peer, myself, Goon, and Elijah Ghost, which Elijah Ghost's cousin is Goon. So, and I also do chill with Elijah Ghost in real life as well. I chill with all these dudes in real life. I know all of them. So we all hang out, make music together.
Oh, okay, cool. I know that recently Elijah Ghost put out an album. I was listening to it on SoundCloud. Really good shit.
Oh yeah, yep. I think EPR did all the production to it. It's probably one of my favorite projects from him.
Nice. As you guys are all coming up in Detroit, living in that area, I'm assuming that most of you guys are white because it just seems that like a lot of funk producers are. Did Eminem, being a rapper, have an impact on you getting into music and being like, all right, well, if he can do it, I definitely can. And it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm white or what color I am. All that really matters is that if I'm putting out heat.
I actually get a lot that I'm, not a lot, but I have gotten that I culturally appropriate my music, that I'm not supposed to be producing rap music or metal music as far as that, because I've also wanted to do that before I did rap, but it was like, I was told that they spawned from like a black community, so I'm not supposed to be doing that as a white person. It doesn't rub me the wrong way. It kind of hurts my feelings a little bit, because it's like, wow, like, I think that anyone, like I said, anyone should be able to do art. As far as Eminem, I used to be really big into him. Towards like 2012, like 2011, 2012, I'd say, around the time I got into production, I just stopped listening to Eminem. I was like, this isn't what, I don't enjoy this. You know what I'm saying? Like, just got corny to me.
Yeah, I think that his style has definitely changed over the years. It kind of sucks that you are getting shit from people who are saying that you shouldn't be producing funk music. I mean, it's actually, I won't say that it's something that I've been struggling with, but it's something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because me personally, I don't think anybody that I've talked to so far for the music series would tell by the sound of my voice that I'm black. So I'm sure that if people saw me in real life, they're probably like, oh, I didn't know that this guy was black or whatever. But as a black guy interviewing a lot of white producers about music that samples and borrows heavily from, like you said, the Memphis sound, like 3-6, Project Pat, it's not like I'm conflicted, but I'm just like, I wonder if the general, like the masses are ever gonna accept this, because what I would hate to happen is, you know, let's say funk blows up, all right, you know, we already know, like you said, about like Raider Clan, Space Ghost Perp, Smoke Perp, people like that. Funk blows up, and then it's like all of a sudden all of you guys get pushed out literally based on the color of your skin. Are you ever worried that it'll hit mainstream and then you'll just get drowned out because you're white?
No, not at all. No, I mean, if it does happen, I'm prepared to, you know, not to defend myself, but it's just like, I think people are just bitter, is all. You know what I'm saying? So
what are you working on now? What future stuff you got coming up?
I'm trying to spin out to more platforms, but as far as that, I want to drop more singles, because I've always been a big procrastinator. I've always, probably 90% of my tracks have been from me making them last minute or just stalling, or, you know, I've always been super critical about everything, and I'm also very lazy. So I want to break out of that and start working on getting better. I always make up the excuses that I got school or I've got time. You know, I got time if I'm putting like 4 hours into Xbox, or if I'm just laying around watching Netflix. I got time to put it into music, and I know I do. It's a matter of getting out of that habit. But I want to work on more singles, and then I definitely want to do another tape.
Yeah, I hear that. Oh, actually, I completely even skipped a question. Speaking of, you know, your tapes and your discography, I want to talk about the Celestial EP. What vibe were you going for with that project?
That is actually, that type of vibe, like a celestial vibe, I guess you could call it, has always been something that I've wanted to do. It interests me, space and time, not to sound super corny or anything or edgy, but that type of stuff has always been interesting. And I figured, why not make a tape that's themed like that, but try to incorporate a very airy vibe to it, lots of reverb, futuristic sounds, just something that'll make you feel like you're traveling through space. Maybe try to think that you're like floating through space and then traveling through a wormhole is probably how I put it.
definitely sounds about right. I was listening to it a few days ago. It's like, this is really like a really spaced out sound. So definitely some good shit to smoke too. I'll say that.
Honestly, I don't even get high. I barely get high. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. Like I haven't even listened to a stone. So
all right. Well, I can tell you from personal experience, it's a pretty good tape.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Touching on that, have you made the conscious decision to not consume any type of drugs, or did you have a bad experience?
It's not that I've had a bad experience. It's just that like I've always been curious with, I guess, psychedelics. Nothing further out than that. I only smoke like weed once in a while, and I guess it is a conscious decision. It wasn't like to be better than anyone else or to just say no to drugs, period. But it was just I've always felt the best sober. I have the clearest conscience. I can think. I'm relaxed, sober. So I'm not always on edge or anything like that. I'm fine being sober. To each is his own, though. I mean, like, if smoking works for you, then do it. You know what I'm saying?
All right, man. We have run through all the questions here. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't already gone over?
Not that I can really think of, to be honest.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Last question, then. How can people get in touch with you if they want to listen to your stuff or reach out for a collab?
I'd say the best way is probably my email, my Twitter, or my Instagram. 99% of the time, I will get to you through email or Twitter, and then Instagram, I'm not on it as much. So I guess 90% of the time on Instagram. I don't really be checking my SoundCloud DMs as much. So. All
right, and then what are those handles?
Hold up. I'm gonna pull them up real quick.
All right.
My bad. For email, it's feeneybeats@gmail.com. And then Twitter, I've changed it so many times. Twitter, it's produced by Feeney. And then Instagram, let's see this real quick.
I think Instagram, it just might be Feeney.
It's _Feeney.
_Feeney. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, Mr. Feeney, thanks so much for sitting down with me and taking time out of your day to talk about this here funk thing.
No problem. I appreciate the opportunity for the interview, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take it easy.
You too.
Mr. Feeney?
Thanks again to Feeney for sitting down with us. Find him on Instagram @_Feeney. We'll be back soon with another interview from the producers that are certified fresh. I'm JV. Thanks for listening.